Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Are you all having a good weekend? A good time? Yeah. How about that? The writer and executive producer Stephen Moffat. Please welcome Darvill. Gillan. And here it comes. Doctor Who. Moffat, first of all, a big cheer for you. What do you make of this? This is great, isn't it?
That's incredibly exciting, absolutely brilliant. I wish I could see any of you. But I'm seeing lots of feathers, so that's brilliant.
Matt, Karen, Arthur, look at this. This is great.
Brilliant,
You know,
yeah.
people travel. I don't know if you heard that. There are people from Australia here. There are people from the United States of America here. To be here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for making the trip. I hope you have a nice day. It's all things Doctor Who. So, yeah, it is. Wow, look at all these lights.
I know, it looks really cool.
Everyone's got their own light.
I know. I quite like the orange ones best. Anyway,
let's start with you then, Karen. What's your earliest Doctor Who memory?
My first ever Doctor Who memory, well, I think it was probably being forced to watch loads and loads and loads of Tom Baker episodes with my dad. When I was little, I think when I was 7, there was still 1 or 2 really bonkers of Sylvester McCoy's on TV, but my dad was absolutely obsessed with ghost stories and sci-fi, so I got sat down and I watched them all.
Stephen?
I remember complaining to my father about where's Doctor Who? He's not in it anymore. And he said, no, that's Doctor Who. Because of course, Patrick Troughton had just taken over. And I remember just saying, no, it can't be. He's far too young.
Arthur, what about you? What's your earliest? Who can you remember?
Well, I remember being at my nan's house, Doreen, and she watching some Sylvester McCoy episode. But then, obviously, when I was growing up, it wasn't really on.
no.
But then it's always kind of part of kind of the kind of British culture. So there's so many references to it. It's just kind of I knew about it
even though it wasn't on TV.
Yeah, that was exactly the same for me. So I knew that the Doctor wore a scarf at one point, and I knew what a Dalek was, but I'd never actually watched an episode of it. So the first episode that I watched would have been Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper together.
Matt, what about you?
I remember being very young, and again, it wasn't on the television because I'm 29, like Arthur, but I do remember a Dalek chasing, and it must have been Hartnell because it was black and white down a corridor, although Troughton did some black and white, didn't he?
No, all black and white.
Yeah. Oh, all black and white, right. So, but it was. I'm pretty sure it was Hartnell. I don't know what channel it was on. But it's funny, isn't it, with Doctor Who, how you're just sort of aware culturally things like TARDIS and Dalek. You kind
it's
of
referenced so much.
So many different
you know what it is, yeah.
Since we've been doing it, it just pops up all over. It's really exciting whenever it's mentioned.
I know that Matt turned to Stephen there to ask about William Hartnell. Is it fair to say that you're an anorak, and do you wear that anorak with pride, Stephen?
I did definitive, original, and possibly oldest anorak. I don't know. I'm actually older than Doctor Who. I've been an absolute fan since I was a kid. I remember I grew up watching it. I sort of got into television in the hope that I would one day get to write Doctor Who. And I remember I became, for a brief moment, quite a big hit in children's television. I thought, this is it. I'll put myself up to write an episode of Doctor Who. They axed it more or less that afternoon. 89, I missed by about 10 minutes. Ironically enough, I later discovered that both Russell and I were chasing to do an episode of Doctor Who back then. And in fear and panic, they struck it from the air. I've since got a spectacular and sustained revenge.
So this in many ways for you, this is a dream come true for you, Steve.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, absolutely a dream come true.
Matt, a dream come true for you to be playing the Doctor?
Yeah, oh gosh, I mean, you know, it's going to be part of my career and my life. It's just every day is a true adventure actually, and it's as a sort of acting challenge. The stakes are always so high that you know it's constantly offering you new ways of rethinking your imagination as an actor. So I love it. I really,
And Steve, these three stars have thrilled millions of us on television. What's so special about this group of individuals who have become television icons?
Well, I mean, they're all incredibly special actors to start with, separately, individually, before they had anything to do with us. And they're all, they're all proper leads, all properly funny, which is even rarer. But what you have now, after this time of working together so intensively, and in such a range of situations the Doctor Who offers, forget it, Holby, look what you get to do on this. They've become such an efficient acting machine. They're so well on with each other. They understand each other so well that sometimes you get what is pretty much the finished performance at the read through. We just got the read through for episode 1 and 4 and 5 last night, and it was some of them just perfect. So that's what you get, and it is funny now because there are three people I know well, but when I see them up on the screen like that, it's so iconically Doctor Who.
Okay, let's take a look.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
I've watched that a number of times over the past couple of days when we've been rehearsing this. And I've just noticed that as the camera goes in, you don't blink.
No.
Very impressive.
Thanks. I never blink.
You never blink. I'll stare you out, sure.
Yeah.
But your character, Rory.
Yes.
He's had a tough time of it, isn't he? He's been through the middle a little bit, that fella.
Yeah, he has, yeah. It's such an amazing privilege to play this part because, it's spanned quite a bit of time. When I started, I had no idea where it was going to go at all and where our journey was going to take us. And, I've got to do things that I just never really imagined. Like all of that stuff was such a surprise. You open the script and go, wow, this is incredible. And then, you have to work out how to do it.
What's kind of doubly exciting for me and Arthur is that we did a play together before we ever did Doctor Who, and so we knew each other. And I mean, in a play, you do it for 6 months, and we were doing this play with Christian Slater, and it was called Swim with Sharks. And after 6 months, you have to find ways of reinventing it. So let's show them. So I'd come in, we're playing Americans, we'd be like, hey, how's it going, man? And so for like night after night after night, we'd play a game and see how close we could get.
It got to the point which was ridiculous because we'd get about this close, and then one day one of us just went. And we started off just kind of increased.
But then to come on this journey together.
We always said, we really want to do something else
together again, and then So when he got the part, I was rooting for Arthur really.
It was
And I mean, hats off to
Who got the part first then?
In Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Me
You got the
first.
part
I
first.
started up a month, 2 months after.
And what did you think when Matt was given the part?
I was really excited. I always seemed to be my grandparents. I was at my granddad's house.
This is the second name check for you, bro.
Yeah. Hello, Jack. Right. And I saw the news, and I just thought, I can't wait to get a pencil case with Matt's face on it.
And that's the thing, that's the big thing, I suppose, Matt, as well, is that, as Arthur says, I saw the news. It's big news. Were you prepared for that moment, that roadshow, the headlines?
No, gosh, I wasn't. I don't think anything can prepare you for that, really, and I don't think anything can prepare you for the transition that you go through in your life when you're a part of this show. But it's just exciting and brilliant. But it is a life-changing event. Absolutely.
Okay, let's take a look at some Karen Gillan. Karen, I see there's lots of emotion in there, Karen.
Yeah. Sorry, they were calling me Moonhead for a long
It's really hard watching it from this angle.
It's lovely.
guys.
Like,
What's it like? What is it like, guys, when you get hold of a Stephen script?
It's always so exciting because those ones are special. And also it's really fun for us because that's generally when our story arc happens.
Yeah.
So that's quite fun.
Yeah. We're quite impatient to get the scripts.
Everybody is.
Everyone is. But it's quite a feat to write Doctor Who because there is so much plot, and essentially you're sort of making a film every week, but in 47 minutes, and you've got to tell that story in sort of quite a cute way. So it takes a lot of plotting and things like that.
Stephen, is there anything you keep away from these guys in your scripts?
Oh, everything. I don't tell them anything that's coming. As far as possible, I don't tell anyone.
It takes great pleasure in that, I might add.
I sometimes tell them specifically what I'm not telling them.
Yeah.
To my great joy, I told Alex Kingston, whoever it was, and then refused to tell them.
Yes.
Every time I turned up on set for the Impossible Astronaut, Alex would come running over, cover a radio mic and have a conversation with me. While Matt and Karen and Arthur would be standing in the TARDIS going, "We are the stars of this show." But I did, and it was brilliant.
Karen, can I just ask you about the thrill about working with Steve? Is it a big thrill?
Answer a different question.
Is it not a big thrill?
It's a huge thrill.
Right, it's a huge one.
No, I mean it's fantastic whenever you get a Stephen Moffat script, not least because it's a miracle when you get a Stephen Moffat script. Whenever you get
The camera crew are standing there saying,
could you shoot it now?
Yeah.
But no, I mean in all seriousness, his imagination is just absolutely enormous, and I think it's the thing that kind of we all feel whenever we get one of them. It's just you read it, you flick through it, and you go, wow, how are we going to do this? I've not got a clue. I'll phone Marcus Wilson, our producer, because he's probably got more of an idea. But it's that thing where the storylines are so epic. Everything that he wants to achieve every week is just the kind of stuff that you do in a movie, not on British television. And I think the brilliant thing about our cast and our crew is that they're just absolutely in love with the show and in love with the ambition of the show. And it's the sorts of stuff that ordinarily you'd go, we don't know how to do this in the UK, we need a feature budget for it. And they just go, and every time they just do it, and they top what they did last series. So, I'm hugely delighted to be part of the show now, and you look at these clips as to what everyone did in series 5 and 6, and it was just phenomenal. And we're shooting series 7 at the moment, and it looks even bigger and better, and I don't know how you want to choose it.
Caroline has said that your scripts are a miracle. Where do these ideas come from?
Only it's a miracle if he writes them, that's what I meant.
what it's really like working with me is that we spend a lot of time saying, Stephen, is it finished yet? No. Could you send us a bit? No. A page, an idea? No. They weep and they cry and they say, how many pages have you written really? And I lie.
Every once in a while he'll send about 10 at once, and you know that he's written a couple more, but they're always ended on the world's biggest cliffhanger in a kind of, it's a tone mischievously typing. Yes, I am. You're going to love that. Send. And we all sit there in the production office and kind of hand them out 5 pages at a time, and everyone goes, oh, we've got something to do. Okay, wow, that's amazing. And that's sort of the process, really.
Yeah, I'm an unprofessional git.
You're really here first. Let's take a look at another clip.